What do Greta Garbo, Clark Gable, and the Marx Brothers all have in common? Believe it or not, they've all shared the screen with Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. In the 1930s, Disney's animators brought Hollywood's biggest stars into their cartoons through the magic of caricature. Let's explore the shorts that celebrated the silver screen stars of Disney's golden age. Plus, we'll explore how Walt Disney believed caricature wasn't just a gag, it was at the very heart of animation. Hi, I'm Dennis, and this is West of Neverland. If you like classic Disney animation and behind-the-scenes secrets, then this is the place for you. In 1935, Walt Disney wrote a memo to his studio's art instructor, Don Graham, about what made a great animator. Right near the top of the list, after good draftsmanship, was a knowledge of caricature, of action as well as features. To Walt, caricature wasn't just about drawing a funny face. He called it a caricature of life and action, to picture on the screen things that run through the imagination of the audience, to bring to life fancies and imaginative things we all think of during our lives. He insisted caricature should be based on the real, something the audience recognizes, but exaggerated just enough to make it memorable. The true interpretation of caricature, Walt said, is the exaggeration of an illusion of the actual possible or probable. And during the 1930s, his animators applied that philosophy not just to animals and fairy tale characters, but to Hollywood's biggest stars. Let's start with celebrity caricatures featured in Mickey Mouse shorts. Mickey's Gala Premier, released in 1933, is the first example of direct celebrity caricature in a Disney cartoon. This short shows Mickey attending the grand opening of his own new movie at the Grauman's Chinese Theater in Hollywood. Outside, the Keystone Cops control the crowd as limousines arrive. Wallace Beery, Marie Dressler, Lionel John, and Ethel Barrymore step out in their costumes from the 1932 film Rasputin and the Empress, followed by Laurel and Hardy and the Marx Brothers peeking from a car window. At the mic, Maurice Chevalier, Eddie Cantor, Jimmy Durante, Jean Harlow, Joan Crawford, Janet Gaynor, Harold Lloyd, Clark Gable, Edward G. Robinson, and Adolphe Menjou take turns performing. Sid Grauman greets the guests with George Arliss, Joey Brown, Charlie Chaplin, Buster Keaton, and the Marx Brothers making their way inside. Mae West arrives in her She Done Him Wrong gown and delivers her famous line, "Come up and see me sometime," scandalizing Grauman. Then it's Mickey's turn, arriving with Minnie, Pluto, Horace Horsecollar, and Clarabelle Cow to cheers from the crowd. Inside, the audience is packed with more stars like Helen Hayes, William Powell, Chester Morris, and Gloria Swanson. They all watch a film within a film called Gallopin' Romance, which is a parody of the Gallopin' Gaucho that was made exclusively for this short. In more crowd shots, we see Myrna Loy and Ed Wynn, Wheeler and Woolsey, and even horror icons like Bela Lugosi as Dracula, Frederick March as Mr. Hyde, and Boris Karloff as Frankenstein's monster, laughing along, or in their case, laughing spookily. The cartoon ends with Will Rogers hauling a shy Mickey Mouse on stage and his celebrity admirers congratulating him, while Greta Garbo smothers him with kisses. All for Mickey to wake up and find that it was Pluto licking his face. Sadly, it was all a dream. This was the first time Mickey ever interacted with human characters on screen, and it was a turning point in how Disney positioned him. Mickey wasn't just a cartoon star anymore. In Mickey's Gala Premier, he was a Hollywood star, with other Hollywood stars as his peers. Just a few months later, the studio used caricature in a different way in the pet store. This time, the caricature isn't a famous person, it's a whole performance. In this short, a gorilla named Beppo flips through a Hollywood magazine and spots an image of Stan Laurel. Beppo immediately impersonates Laurel as he transforms into an ape-like caricature. He then spots an image of King Kong in the magazine. In a burst of inspiration, Beppo becomes the giant ape, destroying the pet shop in a full parody of the 1933 film, complete with a damsel in distress moment featuring Minnie. This wasn't a crowd of cameos like the Gala Premier, but it used caricature to insert the pop culture of the day into Mickey's world. In 1936, Mickey's Polo team pits Mickey, Donald, Goofy, and the Big Bad Wolf against a team of Hollywood stars: Harpo Marx, Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy, and Charlie Chaplin, each with horses caricatured to match their riders. Jack Holt serves as the referee. This short was originally planned to include Will Rogers, but his death in 1935 led to his removal out of respect. In the stands, the celebrity caricatures keep coming. Shirley Temple sits with the Three Little Pigs. Charles Lawton, Eddie Cantor, Harold Lloyd, W.C. Fields, and Greta Garbo share a section. Edna Mae Oliver sits with Max Hare, and Clark Gable flirts with Clarabelle Cow. The entire short is a playful nod to Walt Disney's own passion for polo, a sport he took up in the early 1930s. But before all these Mickey Mouse shorts hit the big screen, there was Parade of Award Nominees in 1932. It was never meant for public release. It was created specifically for the 1932 Academy Awards banquet, where it was shown only once to the invited guests. This short features Mickey Mouse leading a parade of caricatured nominees for Best Actor and Best Actress, assisted by Minnie Mouse, Clarabelle Cow, and a marching band full of animals. The nominees appear in costume from their films: Wallace Beery with Jackie Cooper for The Champ, Lynn Fontaine and Alfred Lunt for The Guardsman, Helen Hayes for The Sin of Madelon Claudet, Frederick March for Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and Marie Dressler for Emma. Historically, this short holds several firsts. It's the first film in which Mickey appears in color, wearing green shorts instead of the red ones that would later become iconic. It also introduced Pluto in color, bringing up the rear, carrying a sign reading "The End," but he's shown here as gray rather than his familiar yellowish orange. Joe Grant was brought in to create the caricatures of the award nominees, his very first work for Disney. While the first short to feature his caricatures was Mickey's Gala Premier, Parade of Award Nominees marked the true beginning of his 70-year career with the studio's story department. By the way, if you're curious, of the nominees featured, Helen Hayes, Wallace Beery, and Frederick March all took home Oscars, with Beery and March tying for Best Actor. Now let's explore some celebrity caricatures from the Silly Symphonies. One of the earliest examples of celebrity caricature in the Silly Symphonies series comes from the 1932 short, The Bird Store. At first glance, it's a simple pet shop short filled with cages of chattering birds, but among them are four very familiar-looking figures labeled the Four Marx Birds, each capturing the distinctive look and mannerisms of the Marx Brothers: Groucho, Harpo, Chico, and Zeppo. This short also marked Clarence Nash's first work in a Disney cartoon, Clarence Nash being the iconic voice of Donald Duck. He provides the voices for the cat and various birds. In fact, in this episode of Disney, A Day in the Life of Donald Duck, you can see him doing some of his signature bird calls as well as the voice of Donald Duck.
Hi, Donald. Boy, what a beautiful day for the little creatures.
What's good about it?
Why, the birds are singing.
The Marx Brothers gag is quick, but it shows how Disney's animators could distill a celebrity's persona with just a few animated traits. Part murder mystery, part musical, 1935's Who Killed Cock Robin is packed with character. Among the bird townsfolk is Jenny Wren, a voluptuous songbird whose sultry voice, playful manner, and catchphrases are a straight caricature of Mae West. The short also opens with Cock Robin himself serenading Jenny, a performance that bears more than a passing resemblance to the smooth, laid-back style of crooners like Bing Crosby. It's a reminder that caricature at Disney can take many forms, from visual to vocal, using familiar traits that instantly connect with audiences. The character designs in Broken Toys, also from 1935, were created by Joe Grant, whose knack for caricature is on full display here. The short follows a pile of overused and broken toys, including a discarded sailor doll and an Aunt Jemima doll, who band together with others to repair themselves and bring joy to children at Christmas. Among other toy celebrities, we see W.C. Fields as a roly-poly toy, Zazu Pitts as a delicate doll, Ned Sparks as a gloomy Jack-in-the-Box, and Stepin Fetchit as a slow-moving marionette, which was a caricature of the stereotypical screen persona that made him famous. The humor works on two levels, as a heartwarming holiday story and as a spot the celebrity game for 1930s audiences. If you're enjoying this deep dive into Disney's history of celebrity caricature, hit the like button and subscribe. I've got plenty more stories like this coming your way. Mother Goose Goes Hollywood is perhaps Disney's most star-studded short, retelling classic nursery rhymes as elaborate set pieces starring 1930s Hollywood icons. Old King Cole is portrayed by Hugh Herbert, with Ned Sparks as his jester and the Marx Brothers as his three fiddlers. Joe Penner delivers a bowl containing a special guest cameo, none other than Donald Duck. Rub-a-Dub-Dub features Charles Lawton, Spencer Tracy, and Freddie Bartholomew. W.C. Fields plays another roly-poly character, Humpty Dumpty, alongside Charlie McCarthy, while Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy appear as Simple Simon and the Piemen. Seesaw Marjorie Daw is acted out by Edward G. Robinson and Greta Garbo. Eddie Cantor plays Little Jack Horner in a large musical number with Cab Calloway, Fats Waller, and Stepin Fetchit. Other celebrity caricatures include Wallace Beery, Clark Gable, George Arliss, Fred Astaire, Martha Ray, Joe E. Brown, Edna Mae Oliver, Mae West, and Zazu Pitts. In a running gag, Katharine Hepburn appears at various points as Little Bo Peep, searching for her lost sheep.
I've lost my sheep. I can't find them anywhere, really, I can't.
The sheer volume and variety of stars packed into this short make it one of Disney's most ambitious celebrity caricature showcases. Based on the popular children's book, 1938's Ferdinand the Bull, which wasn't a silly symphony, but it's categorized as a special, tells the story of a gentle bull who would rather smell the flowers than fight in the ring. While not a celebrity caricature showcase in the traditional sense, the short contains playful caricatures for those who knew the Walt Disney Studio. The picadors and bandoleros who parade into the bull ring were designed as caricatures of Disney artists, with Walt Disney himself as the matador, and Ward Kimball, who animated the scene, as the lackey carrying his sword, making it a behind-the-scenes nod in plain sight. Though subtle compared to the all-out Hollywood cameos of other earlier shorts, these insider caricatures add a layer of personality to the film, a reminder that the art of caricature at Walt Disney Studio wasn't limited to the movie stars, but often extended to the people creating the films. And finally, we can't leave out Donald Duck's caricature-filled short, The Autograph Hound. This turns the table on celebrity caricature and on Donald Duck himself. The short follows Donald as he sneaks into a Hollywood studio lot, determined to collect signatures from as many stars as possible. Along the way, he runs into a parade of caricatured celebrities: Greta Garbo, Mickey Rooney, Shirley Temple, and Sonja Henie. The gags play on each star's persona: Garbo's aloofness, Shirley Temple's sweetness,
And you're Donald Duck.
but the clever twist comes at the end when the stars all turn the tables and clamor for Donald's autograph. It's a wink at Donald's own rising stardom in 1939, just 5 years after his debut. From Mickey's Gala Premier to The Autograph Hound, Disney's Golden Age shorts turned celebrity caricature into both an art form and a running in-joke. Sometimes the stars were instantly recognizable faces from the silver screen, and other times, like in Ferdinand the Bull, they were the studio animators and staff themselves. Whether presented through exaggerated visuals, familiar voices, or subtle mannerisms, these caricatures gave the shorts an extra spark for the audiences who delighted in spotting their favorite personalities. While some of the stars in these shorts have faded from public memory, the energy and wit behind their animated likenesses remain. They capture a moment when Hollywood and Disney animation were growing side by side, and when a duck, a mouse, and a few Marx Brothers could all share the same screen. And if you'd like to know more about one of these shorts featured here, Mickey's Polo Team, and its special connection to Disneyland, check out my video on the Main Street Cinema, where this short has often been shown alongside other Mickey Mouse classics. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you over there.